Beehive Sports Podcast is powered by Swing Juice. Visit swingjuice.com. Use promo code Beehive20 for 20% off your golf and MLB PA apparel. A lot to get to tonight. We're running late. Sketty's fault.
Yep, a little bit.
Yep, a lot of it. Your fault. Busy week with events between Sketty and I participating in different things, so we're going to get into that. Oh, what else we got? Local shout-outs. As always, Buzz and Buzzkill. We're going to get into Kareem Hunt requesting a trade, and then obviously Tom Brady sitting out a few weeks for personal reasons, and NFL preseason action. In sports history, it's NFL preseason edition. Sketty On will feature Sketty On Serena Williams. And the things that sting, we got follow-up for one old case and then 6 new ones to talk about. 6 new horrible sports stories. And then in My Hive, we continue on with the 2022 NFL Fan Rant, which is AFC North, NFC North. I think we have all teams represented except for the Lions, which should be no surprise to anyone. Let's go.
Welcome to the Beehive Sports Podcast. Here are your hosts, Joe and Sketty.
The Buzz is brought to you by Busch Light. Busch Light apples back on the shelves. Get it wherever you purchase your adult beverages. Please drink responsibly. While you're drinking, you may get hungry. Where would you order food from, Sketty?
Napoli's.
Napoli's is back. That's right. When there's football season on TBSP, there is Napoli's. Weekly specials, pickup or delivery available, located in North Warren. Also, want to shout out something else. I got this here. I mean, I can't even, it won't even fit in the screen. So I got to, pull it up here.
It's a fancy banner.
Nice looking banner, right?
Very nice.
So, Hillview Signs and Graphics. I'm going to try and get it, hung up behind me somehow. I also didn't want to cover the Busy Bee sign because I really like that. But I'm going to figure out a way to do that. But Hillview Signs and Graphics in Warren, pretty relatively new company, great to work with. Guy's name's Bart. His partner's Don Saporito. A lot of people know him from Hillview Service Center. And, get a hold of them, 814-730-0348. We're going to be doing some more stuff with them here soon. But I did not get a chance to talk to Don today. Had a busy day, so... reminder to audio listeners, live shows broadcasted on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Give us a follow or subscribe on all platforms. We appreciate it. At Facebook and YouTube is the Beehive Sports Podcast, Twitter at the Beehive SP, Instagram at the Beehive Sports Pod. So like I said, busy weekend with events, or week, I should say, into the weekend. We're going to start with Sketty, so we're going completely out of order, but I figured I'd let you go first. Okay. Steeplechase. Conowanga Valley
good.
Country Club.
Not good. Don't need to talk about it.
No, we're going to talk about it because I know. So Janak won, right?
Janak won after a rough start. He really actually rough 2 out of 3 holes to start. Came back and really played well at the end and sealed the deal.
When did you get knocked out?
1. Yanked it left into the trees.
On how many shots? Didn't you say your second, third, and fourth shot?
My second shot was in the trees. And so disadvantage here to me because I watched the rest of these guys. Everyone else put it on the green or they were just short of the green. So I thought I really had to hit a good shot out of the trees and give myself a good look at 5 because I didn't think 6 would even be in the hunt. Had I known everyone was going to do what they did, I would have just chipped straight out, chipped up. Maybe had a look at 5, made 6 at worst, and been in the chip off. But no, everyone played the hole really well, and then just kind of fell apart a little bit. So yeah, tugged 1 left. The last 2 years I was 5th and 2nd, so I was due for an early out. No big deal.
I seen the video of DM Brown chipping in.
He did. That was a big chip in on 8.
That's huge.
Yep. Yeah, it was a huge chip for him. Honestly, not a lot of good golf played in this, which made it rougher on me. 16, I think of the 9 guys that were left, only 1 guy hit the green. So, it was unusual for steeplechase. Usually a lot of good golf played there, but they kind of, there's a lot of grinding going on. Andrew played super well. Nick played really well too. I called that on, I think 18. I said, it's going to be down to these 2 guys. They've come around. They played well. But it was fun to watch. It was a little bit longer than usual, but yeah, it was a good tournament to watch.
Good. So congrats to Janak for winning. I know Nick won
back
second.
to back, which is tough.
Yeah, that is tough.
Back to back in that tournament is tough.
Former guest Nick Giambrone finishing second, so congrats to him as well.
Yep.
So I had the Heat versus Old Timers game that you were supposed to broadcast live, but you bailed to practice golf for the tournament. You got knocked out on the first hole. So yeah, that was cool. Good decision.
Did not help. I think I might have won a skin. Might have won a little bit of money that day, so it's okay.
Yeah, the Heat versus Old Timers was awesome. It made me want to play more baseball. Had a great time. We ended up winning 14-10. We were down 10-4. We were getting we were up. I mean, we started the game. We scored 4 runs in the first 2 innings, and things were looking good. And then it just kind of all came unraveled. It was then 10-4. We were like, oh, okay. So, but we ended up scoring, I think, 7 in the top of the 6th, and then 3 more in the top of the 7th to seal the win. They went 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 7th, but it was a blast. Ed throws really well. Ron Thomas can huck it. I mean, he throws hard. It's really impressive to watch. But probably what was my favorite thing was Brian Ferry from the Times Observer. He pitches for them. And, dude, he goes into, like, a dark place when he's pitching. Like, you can't joke with him. He's yelling at himself on the mound. Like, it's awesome. He's like Jose Mesa. He's just going nuts.
He works for the Times Observer. Not surprised. It's a dark place in general.
That is true. That is very true. Yeah, they haven't ever interviewed us. Your Daily Local did. That's a good point. But, yeah, no, it was really fun. I went 2 for 5. You saw the video of me striking out looking. There's a theory behind that because even Hoven, the catcher for the Old Timers, I was in the outfield watching. I played center, so I had a pretty decent, view of where the pitches were going that Nick and Chris Rich were throwing. And he was calling everything low and outside a strike, but he didn't do that in the first inning. So
he wanted to go home.
Our theory was he remembered it was a charity game. I don't know if he was getting paid. Probably not. He's probably donating his time to do that. And he was probably like, these dudes aren't throwing strikes.
Yeah.
So
just got to let it go.
We're going to do something about that. Yeah. Cause that pitch was so far outside. It was crazy. And then he rung up some other, like probably 3 or 4 other guys on the same pitch that nobody would have swung at. But then after a while, it was like, okay, we know he's calling that. We have to start swinging at it. But no, it was cool. A lot of fun. A lot of the guys played well. One of my biggest surprises was my coworker, AJ, because he always said he was pretty decent at baseball, but nobody believed him. And he played second, turned 2 double plays, had a couple nice hits. Like he played well, so it was impressive. It was fun. Can't wait to do that again. And I have to be 46 to play with them full time, so I have 8 years, and then I might be playing with the Old Timers if I'm still around here and all that. But then obviously the next day we had the FOP Golf Scramble, which we sponsored. Everybody there got a bunch of 6-pack cooler, which I'm going to have some left over. Don't know what we're going to do with them yet. Sketty and I haven't had that conversation, but probably some sort of maybe stuff it with a golf towel or something like that, and get those out to people either for sale or giveaway. I don't know how we're going to do it yet, but stand by for that. But that was a good time. The other announcement, which I think you knew this, maybe I didn't run it by you, but I think I ran it by you. We are sponsoring. So this banner that I just partially showed you will be hanging down at Betts Park all weekend. We are sponsoring a men's open team. It's going to be like Coos, Todd Rudolph, I made him send me everybody on the team. I know Nick Pace, Pelly, Mo, Aiden. Let's see. Where's it at? George Higgins. I don't even know who the hell that is, but Brady, Jeff Eaton, Dumb, Adam Payton, Wes, Austin. It's a solid team. So our t-shirt maker is having some difficulties, but we're working on getting some t-shirts done for him too. Hopefully that can get done. We're not positive on that yet. I'm waiting for an update. But if they can get the thing up and running, they could have them done Thursday, so it's kind of like it could be a last minute deal. But anyways, yeah, we're sponsoring a team. So the banner will be up there all weekend and I'll be working all weekend. It's fantastic. I know you're going to be curious about this one because I am too. Real quick, I said 8 years before I could join the old timers. Ed says, you'll be surprised how fast those years go by. I hope you're still playing, Ed, because I'm trying to play defense for you, not have to hit off you again. Anyway, Sketty, so Christian Foley the other day posted on Facebook about PGA Tour 2K21 for PlayStation.
Hands down, fucking awesome. Did you play it?
No, I don't have a PlayStation, but so everybody's aware, if you have that game and you have PlayStation, you can, what is it, like a community? You can search courses.
Yeah, if you go on,
go ahead.
Totally recreated Conowongo.
It looks odd. It looks just like it.
Did you see pictures or?
No, he sent me videos.
Oh, dude. So after he sent me that, I went down, played it, and there's a couple holes that are a little off, but for the most part, completely accurate. Like even the 3 trees on the right side of one,
dude,
like up by the green, like
hole 6 looked crazy.
Hole 6 looked great.
Yeah. Yep. It's wild.
1 looked awesome. 2 was really good. It was really impressive.
We need to find out who did that.
I tried to find, but the creator was hidden within the PlayStation system. Couldn't see it, but whoever did it did an awesome job. Like we have
to make that a mission to figure out who created that.
Even the greens were super accurate. It's impressive. It's impressive to play, to see. Very awesome.
All right. That we got to look into that somehow, figure out maybe if we put a post up and have people share it or whatever. I don't know, something to figure out who created that. Cause I'm curious and
it's awesome.
They should be,
they deserve recognition. Yep.
They do. Yeah. Local shout outs. Never heard from Chris Bunk, which is heartbreaking. So if anybody knows Chris Bunk, tell him he needs to listen to last week's episode, local shout outs, because he has free Beehive Sports Podcast swag coming his way, but he's got to listen to it and then reach out to us. If he doesn't, then I guess, we'll just keep it or give it to somebody else. I don't know. So if anybody knows Chris Bunk, I think he's a junior at Eisenhower, let him know he needs to listen to last week's episode and get back to us. Nate Sandberg, congrats to Nate, named head coach of Dragon Golf. So he's been in that system for a while. It's not like he doesn't know the players, anything. Been there. So that's a good thing. But just wanted to give a shout out to Nate. Congrats on the new gig. Congrats to Dwight Damcott, former guest, repping the Raiders in the fan rant whenever we get to the AFC West. Got his first win as a travel football coach.
Hey.
12, the Warren Dogs. 5th and 6th grade from the Warren County Youth the football league, because it's tackle. They're now traveling. They have a travel schedule. They beat Cameron County 12-6. Colin Havers, over 100 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Tanner Stewart, who's an absolute beast at everything he plays, 60 yards and a touchdown as well. Shout out to former guest Ty Bryan in a unfortunate 31-14 loss to Bradford. He had over 100 passing yards, 65-yard TD run. Parker Kaiser, 55 yards receiving and 10 rushing, caught a 2-point conversion and led the team in tackles. And this was probably one of my favorite parts of the whole thing was viewing the pictures. My little buddy Wyatt Wilson rocking number 22, just like his dad Sean did when I was in high school and Sean was in high school. He had 40 yards receiving. The Wilsons are their wide receivers. That's what they all played, every one of them. So it's cool seeing Wyatt wearing number 22. Although I did talk to Sean today, and he said that Wyatt wanted to wear number 11, but there was like some size issues because that's what Wyatt's brother wore. So, but he settled for second best and is rocking dad's old number. So I think that's awesome. So shout out to all those guys. Great job. Even in the loss, keep up the good work. The wins will come. And that's all I have for local shout outs. Do you have anything you needed to?
Local shout out to my teammates today. Austin Stoddard, Mark Gilbert, and John Lindsay ran away with the Summer Sizzler.
Smooth, oh yeah, Sizzler. We didn't even talk about the Sizzler. Yeah, go ahead.
Smooth 19 under today. We started off on 7. We went par on 7 and 8. Didn't make another par till 16. Eagled all of the par 5s, which 15 held up for only skin, $540. Total team effort. Gilbert hit the best drive I've ever seen on 12. We were 90 yards away from the lower green. We tried to shoot the top. The flag wasn't in. It was like 149 to the top of the hill. Furthest drive I've ever seen there. Just played lights out today and took a little bit of money for a good cause. Donated a lot of money back. There's a bunch of whole stuff you're doing there. It's a fun time, good time. Slightly tuned in because of that. Here we are.
This is going to be a fun episode. All right. Well, besides the Busch Light you're drinking, we're in Buzzin' and Buzzkill. What are you buzzing on this week?
I'm buzzing on the tournament today. Total team effort. No one played better than anyone else. Ham and egged it all around, and I made a bunch of putts. Gilbert hit a bunch of good drives. Stump made some putts. Stoddard played well all around. I mean, it's just a fun time. Great time. Beer cart girls helped us out a lot. We're still up beers, I think. Stump's got those in a cooler someplace. So, yeah, just a great time today.
All right. What's got me buzzing? A Netflix documentary that just came out, and Devin and I just finished watching it today. Trainwreck Woodstock 99.
Awesome documentary.
So when I was 15 or whatever I was when that happened, my mom allowed me and my friends to get together, and we got that on pay-per-view. So we watched that whole thing. The whole weekend. Yeah. So it kicked back on each day at like noon or whatever it was. So we watched that whole shit show unravel, and it was nuts. So it was really cool to watch that and kind of, remember what I remember. If you haven't seen that documentary, watch it. Trainwreck Woodstock 99. It was badass. Like, they show how, what their goal initially was, and then how it just all went downhill because, they brought in the 2 biggest metal bands at that time, and Korn.
So
and
stupid, but it was awesome. Yeah.
It was nuts. So there was a lot of injuries. Unfortunately, some sexual assaults. There was, and the thing was I remember, I told Devin this last night when we were watching it. I remember that part from when I was younger, watching it on pay-per-view, because they were showing the crowd constantly, and the pay-per-view guys, even on the documentary, says they didn't tell me to stick to the bands. I shot everything. Like, he was showing everything, and you'd see girls topless crowd surfing and just dudes' hands coming up and just copping a feel whatever they could. It was disgusting, and that's like there's just, it's nuts. So you have to watch that documentary. It's crazy.
Three episodes. It's not that long.
Yeah, no. Yeah, just it's like under 3 hours too. I think the episodes are like 51, 52 minutes. So
thing I couldn't figure. I think they kept talking about Rage Against the Machine played, but they never showed that.
They did play, but I mean,
I was shocked they didn't show it.
I don't even remember. I think they played Saturday night, but
it could be.
At that point, Limp Bizkit had already played, and Limp Bizkit was really what
that was tore up.
That's when it really just came unglued. And then obviously the next day, the guy who founded it handed out all the candles, which was
Yeah, so dumb.
In the words of Kyle Gray, talk about your all-time backfires. Yeah, and then they had arson out after that. I mean, everything got burnt. So pretty wild. But what's killing your buzz?
And the golf season, man. Like we're slowly approaching. All the big tournaments have been played. I've got like 2 weeks left of exciting stuff to do, and then after that, there's nothing. Summer's over. Basically summer is over. Buzzkill's on. Only upside is football is going to happen.
That is an upside.
Sucks to be locked in the house again with nothing to do.
Yeah, I still have my late October into November golf trip in South Carolina, so I'm.
Yeah, that'll be fun for you. Yep.
Yeah. What's killing my buzz? If you haven't seen it, you will, I'm sure, because it's starting to grow on Facebook. There's another City of Warren, PA satire page, and it's just there's people who believe it. That's the issue. It'd be different if they all were like, "Oh, this is funny." But they're not. They're like, "Oh my God, did you see that? Did you hear about that? Did you hear the police were watching Pornhub in their cars?" Like, it's ridiculous. And actually, I discovered so no, but we had a good running joke at the station the other day where somebody said, "Well, we're more of X videos guys, actually." So it was funny.
That's your site.
But no, the funny part is that like I know who runs it, and I kind of set him up on the last go round when he did one, and to see like who it was. It's Robbie Jordan. That's the kid's name, Robert Jordan. Just a local. I don't even know what he does, but yeah. So I like where he works. I have no idea what he does, but that's who it is. He operates under a fake name on Facebook that's like Raul Duke or something like that, but it's 100% Robbie Jordan. So that's killing my buzz strictly because I'm all about the humor, but the fact that there's people who like believe the stuff they're seeing, it's sad. It saddens me. So, all right, we're gonna move on to a few things.
Andy McIntosh's comment.
Oh, what do you say?
My shirt's a train wreck.
I'll have you know, is about as big a train wreck as the show. That's hurtful, Andy. I thought the show was going pretty well. Sketty's shirt, though, I do agree with. So, what's on it? Pineapple.
20 ladies said this is the nicest shirt they've ever seen. I'm sorry you don't have style, Andy. Hard to come by, bud. Maybe next year you'll figure it out.
All right, Kareem Hunt. Because we're running behind. Like we're supposed to start the fan rant in like 40 minutes. We're not. That's probably not happening. Kareem Hunt requests a trade after no new deal in Cleveland. Cleveland declines the trade. The thing I found most interesting about it was a quote from Nick Chubb, where he said, "He's my best friend on and off the field. He's a great person to be around. I couldn't imagine playing without him. I want him to be here. Whatever they got to do to keep him here, I want to play with Kareem." So I don't foresee that turning into too big of an issue, but it's always one of those things that makes you wonder, like, is it going to sour his taste for Cleveland too?
Looked like kind of a nothing deal because after the Browns told him we're not going to trade you, he was right back at team practice going full on. So I think he tried to play the power move and it failed, and he realized, so he's going to play for a contract this year.
Tom Brady, excused for several weeks, and it said today they're hoping to have him back by week 1 to deal with personal things is all, that would come out. What's going on with Brady?
I really think he might not play this year. The middle of that line's a mess. Everyone's hurt. They claim that this was a known thing, that he was going to miss a couple weeks during training camp preseason. I think he's waking up and realizing the party's over. Don't go out looking bad. Don't go out getting hurt.
It's a hot take.
I would take a bet that he does not play all 17 games this season. Well, I think he retires. I think he retires at some point this year.
Vontae Davis style?
Yep. Really do. I really think middle of the season. Yep. I think it's a possibility. He might not play any games.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd wish there was more details about that, but I understand why there's not. If it's personal, he doesn't want people to know, and they aren't going to tell anybody. But you would have figured something would have leaked by now. It hasn't. But
Yep.
just curious. It's definitely got to be a little bit stressful if you're a Bucs fan and wondering what the hell is going on. NFL preseason action. We're going to touch on a few things here. Injuries. Zach Wilson, meniscus, out 2 to 4 weeks. They hope.
So
why
not
was
as
he
bad
playing?
As it looked. He's young. You got to get him reps. And his injury was freak too. It wasn't like he got hit. Could happen on any play. Could happen in practice. You can't be mad at him.
I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at the Jets. I don't think he should be playing. That's my opinion. Good story here for the backup scenario, though. Joe Flacco has passed Mike White on the depth chart. Who would have thought?
Mike White.
Yep. Drake London, knee, said it's not serious. 49ers, Drake Jackson, shoulder.
Said it was a stinger.
Nothing too crazy.
He looked pretty impressive before that. Which, you like to see. Second round pick, or whatever he was, second, third round pick. I hope that he can fill in that other edge rusher role across from Bosa, but he looked good. He looked like a physical freak, but it's hard to say. First week of the preseason, you're not playing any starters. You don't know what it actually is.
Browns starting center Nick Harris, likely season-ending and knee injury. That's bad. That's a bad one.
Big news. Yep. Yeah. Big news. Yep.
Bengals backup quarterback Brandon Allen concussion. Nothing too major there. I have to backtrack here though, because when Andy commented on your shirt, I totally missed the whole joke where we were talking about Woodstock Trainwreck show, and he was talking about Woodstock, not our show. So I feel better now.
Still a nice shirt.
It's an all right shirt.
It's a nice shirt.
What we got? Some teams. Okay, so I did a short list here. It's not really, I guess, not too short, but teams who did start their starting quarterbacks during week 1 of the preseason. So obviously Wilson, like I said, Mahomes got action. Watson, who was 1 for 4, by the way. Justin Fields, Matt Ryan, Hurts, Goff, Mariota, Lance, Wentz, Dalton, who you would suspect is going to be the starter, and in New Orleans, and Davis Mills. And then Baker got the nod over Darnold, although I watched Good Morning Football today. Matt Rule said that's not like us telling you anything. It's just that's who he started week 1.
Baker should beat Darnold out.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Let's get into a couple of the games. 49ers defeat the Pack 28-21. Trey Lance.
What else is new? Hope Ron and Matt are watching this. What else is new? Niners beat Packers. Who knew? No, honestly, I didn't watch the whole game. Me and Riley watched a movie that night. Went back and just kind of watched like basically the first half. The big thing for me was watching Lance. He didn't have any balls batted at the line, which was a big problem with him last year. But they didn't throw anything over the middle, so not a lot to take away from it there. Trey Sermon ran the ball hard, which was good. Nice to see that. And then I think the guy's name's Danny Gray.
Danny Gray caught the 76-yard bomb for
he looked like him and Ray McLeod. They might be able to fill a little bit of a slot role this year. But the Niners had like 20-some starters out, so you can't take too much from this. You're just looking to see those little bit of things. And
and that's like, so we're going to get into Bills Colts. That was another one where the only thing I really took away from that game was, one, that Shakir, the wide receiver they drafted from Boise State, is going to be an absolute stud. All I've been hearing is how he catches the ball away from his body all the time, picks it right out of the air. Like, he looks like a veteran. He had a really nice game. The other thing is that Barkley is looking like he's working his way back. I don't know how many quarterbacks the Bills plan on keeping on their roster, but Case Keenum looked like shit. So if they're going to have somebody to back up Allen, Barkley's been there and come in and played decent during actual games. And he looked just looked more comfortable with the team. I mean, he knows them all. He's been there. Another good story out of this game. I wonder if Darren's listening tonight. Matt Ryan looked like trash against the Bills 2s.
Preseason,
but he's playing backups.
Doesn't mean anything.
It does mean something when you're playing backups.
Doesn't. The Ravens have won 21 straight preseason games. Where have they been lately?
I'm not saying it doesn't have to do with win-loss. It's what you do with your time while you're in the game. It has nothing to do with win-loss.
He's just getting reps. Doesn't mean anything.
He played like trash
against nothing.
Backups, against all backups.
Means
2s and
nothing.
3s.
Means nothing.
Well, then Trey Lance
means nothing.
Means nothing. Okay.
He didn't
just so we're on the same page.
Nope. It means nothing. There was nothing for me to take away from that game that like I told you, that's what I was looking for. Throw one over the middle and see if he gets it batted, because that was his big mistake last year. They didn't do it. Means nothing. You burned probably the 4th-string corner on a 76-yard touchdown pass to get
but did you throw a good ball?
Yards. It was an okay ball, but I mean,
with pressure coming in his face, so that's good.
Means nothing. There was nothing I
took. It's weird because I would think that is a good thing.
Nope. The only thing I took away from the Niners game was the Womack kid. It was like their 5th or 6th round pick. He had 2 picks.
Do, and why did it mean anything?
Because we need a nickel. We need a third cornerback.
So it doesn't mean anything. So that doesn't mean anything.
It's not a huge, but all you're looking for is he might be able to fill that role. That's maybe.
But
nothing to put away.
His interceptions didn't mean anything. All right.
I'm just made a couple plays.
Speaking of not meaning anything, the Steelers defeat the Seahawks. Trubisky, Rudolph, and Pickett all saw time. Rudolph was booed the minute he stepped foot on the field, which I read a lot on that today, and a lot of Steeler publications are like, way to go, Steeler fans. You look like idiots.
He's going to be your starter.
I doubt that. But
what's the guy's name? Mark Madden?
I don't know.
The idiot, the idiot reporter for the Steelers. He said that Kenny Pickett's looked so bad in practice, he didn't even think they would give him a series in a preseason game.
Yeah, but
he looks so terrible.
I still think Trubisky takes the starting job.
He said that they're both trash. Can't beat out Mason.
I did hear that Rudolph is playing really well in camp.
Better than Trubisky and Pickett. They said doesn't even have a chance.
So, if you scrolled Facebook after that game, you would see several Steeler fans already putting Pickett in the Hall of Fame against the Seahawks.
The 4 stringers.
3rd and 4th
string. The Seahawks 4 stringers. Ooh.
But this is a scenario that could create some outside noise because everybody wants the shiny new toy, and Pickett is the shiny new toy. Trubisky's new in town, but he's played at this level before. So I could see this being like, and not that I would say 20 years ago, outside noise didn't really mean anything. Now with the power of social media and all of that, and, reporters who are on site asking questions based off of, hurrah that they see on Pooh Bear says Mark Madden isn't a Steelers reporter, he's a Pittsburgh blowhard. All right, well, that clears that up. But no, I could see this being like something that causes some issues within the organization, just because they have 3 guys, one of which gets booed if he steps on the field. However, he's apparently having the best camp of the 3.
Best for sure. Yep.
Trubisky is one who I think they all think could be sturdy, but they all want to see what Pickett can do.
Well, Kenny Pickett, they reached like 4 rounds too early for him.
Correct. So, had they not done that, then we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Because if he was taken in the 3rd or 4th, like he should have been, then nobody would, they wouldn't even be.
If you took a guy in the 1st round and he can't beat out Mason fucking Rudolph, you need to just dump that fucking team. Dump it right into the river, send it down, float her down, fuck it, who cares? Acura Field, let somebody else play there. Beat out Mason Rudolph. Fucking joke. Yeah, go get a fucking high school kid. You can do better than that.
So speaking of rookie quarterbacks, last thing here before we have to start blowing through some segments because we're running 12 minutes behind because of Sketty. Malik Willis. So did you see the quote from Vrabel on Malik Willis?
Yeah, I don't like it. You thought it was a big thing. I think it was a normal.
I don't think it's a big thing. I think it's finally a coach saying something that about a running quarterback that none of them will ever say.
Incorrect. Josh Allen did the same. Josh Allen did the same fucking thing as rookie.
Oh, I know he did, but Sean McDermott didn't. And Sean McDermott didn't come out and say anything about it. That's my point.
You have to know that any guy that has the physical talents that Malik Willis has, when the play breaks down, he's going to do what works best, which is run.
I'm not arguing that. I'm saying this is the first coach I've ever seen come out and say, well, I pulled him from the game because I wanted him to throw the ball, and he wasn't doing that.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a good look for Vrabel.
John Harbaugh doesn't say that. No, none of the guys who rely on their legs early in their career, none of those coaches come out and say that. Mike Vrabel just said, I don't care, and comes out and says, I wanted Malik to throw the ball, and he wasn't, so I put in Logan Woodside. He needs to try to throw the ball when guys are open.
Which I agree with. Guys are open. There's the key.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Key part of the statement.
He's the first coach I've seen who has come out and actually called the guy to the carpet on his, publicly.
But it's still, everyone knows Malik Willis is the future there.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Tannehill knows he's on the way out. It's blatant. It's obvious. Willis, he's just trying to light a little fire under there, but, you can't write. I don't know that it does Malik Willis any good for him to come out and say that.
You don't?
I don't think so.
You don't think he'll start trying to throw the ball more?
I think he should have been a little more diplomatic about it. First preseason game. Guys, it's first action in the NFL. You got to be a little more diplomatic with these kids these days. You can't – it's not like in our day where you can ride someone and say, hey, throw the fucking football. Guy was open. Guys don't respond. I think he was a little too tough on him. Should have said he made some good plays. He missed some plays. Be a little kinder about it.
I don't think that's Mike Vrabel's style.
It's not Mike Vrabel's style. But Mike Vrabel's about to get fired when the Titans don't do shit this year. So, is what it is.
It's possible. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with This Week in Sports History. We're going to try and zoom through the next 3 segments and get on to the fan rant because, like I said, we're running a few minutes behind, but that, is what it is. So stand by. Be right back.
Whenever you crack open a bush light, the mountain starts singing.
It's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you.
What is going on?
Hit it, Giant Kenny G.
It's so smooth.
Head for the mountains of Bush Light Beer.
Hungry? Watching the game? Order some Napoli's Pizza, voted the best pizza in the Times Observer Reader's Choice every year. Homemade, hand-tossed, delicious hot pizza, stromboli, salads, subs, and so much more. Located in North Warren, come on in or call 814-723-7455 and ask about our specials. Pickup or delivery available 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Again, that's 814-723-7455.
Hi, this is Brian Hagberg, and I wanted to take a moment and tell you about our new website, yourdailylocal.com. Your Daily Local is your new home for news, sports, and events in Warren County and beyond. Our goal is to cover the people, places, events, and happenings that matter to you in a variety of ways, including writing, video, and audio. And the best part? All of our content is available for free. Head to yourdailylocal.com to get the news you need when you need it.
Let's take a look back at this week in sports history.
This Week in Sports History is brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. NFL preseason edition. So it's going to be quick. When it began in 1920, all 14 teams were clustered in northern industrial towns, and all of the games were exhibitions. After the Decatur Staleys, the forerunners to the Chicago Bears finished second with a 10-1-2 record, compiled largely against Cream Puffs in 1920. The league bylaws were amended so that only intra-league games would count towards the standings. So essentially, teams were making a lollipop schedule and then beating those teams, and then we took second because we have the second best record, because it didn't matter who you played. So yeah, those guys, played nobody and then played the Bears and lost. The College All-Star Game, played from 1934 to 1976, featured NFL champ versus the College All-Stars. In 1972, so this is when the first noticeable time that a coach was annoyed with a meaningless football game. The Cowboys, 1972 Cowboys, played the College All-Stars. Roger Staubach got knocked out of the game in the second quarter. And there's pictures of Tom Landry just why are we even here? This is dumb. But with that said, when the game's scheduled, the pros took it extremely serious because they didn't want to lose to a group of college kids, because that would have been, ultimate embarrassing. Over time, league schedules became a thing, and preseason games were scheduled from 1970 to 79, 14 regular season games with 6 preseason games. In 1978 to 2019, regular season 16 games, preseason was cut to 4. 2020, COVID cancels preseason, and then in 2021, which I think that kind of escalated to the point of hey, what do we need this for? So they now trim it to 3 with the addition of the 17th game in the 2021 season, and moving forward, they also abolished overtime in those meaningless preseason games. So that's it. I just wanted to give a brief history. I figured we're kind of time slotting sports history to what's happening, because season 1 we went through, weekly. So preseason just got underway. I figured it'd be a good time to go down memory lane for NFL preseason edition of This Week in Sports History, brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. We're going to take a quick break. We will be back with Sketty on.
Hey there, everyone. This is Phil with JP Photography. I know. A photography ad on a sports show? I get it. You're here for sports talk and listening to Joe and Sketty's insane rambling.
Wait, what?
But bear with me for a few. I just want to tell you that JP Photography not only offers wedding photography, but also does events, engagements, headshots, family photos, and even some product photography. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for JP Photography or go directly to our website at johnphilphotography.com. That's JONPHIL photography.com.
He's absolute trash.
Sketty on. Let's have a listen to what Sketty's on this week.
0% chance that works.
Hold on. I got this. Sketty on. Brought to you by Complete Roofing Systems. Free estimates, the best the business has to offer, match with the best prices. For a free estimate, go to crsroofingteam.com or call them at 716-640-4609. Not bad for half-cocked, eh?
That was pretty decent. I was actually impressed that you remembered. I was about to text you and be like, hey, don't forget. But I was like, we're going to wing it and see what happens.
I talked to David. He said, I'd rather you guys just make our commercial for us. I said, okay.
Well, we can do that.
That was the plan. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
We'll get there.
All right. So I got to cue up your music here. And
I got to cue up her quote.
Okay. You do that. I'll get the music going. Where are we at? Rock. There it is.
So Serena Williams this week on announcer retirement. She says, if I were a guy, I wouldn't be writing this because I'd be out there playing and winning while my wife was doing all the physical labor of expanding our family. Maybe I'd be more of a Tom Brady if I had that opportunity. Fuck you, Serena Williams. Having a family is your choice. You don't have to have a family. No one's forcing you. You could be out there playing if you wanted to. The fact is, you're 40 fucking years old. You're washed up. You're no good anymore. Retire. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Someday your kids are going to read this quote and think, oh my God, we ruined Mom's career. I'm telling you, you didn't do it. Your mom's old age ruined her career. She's no good anymore. She hasn't won for like 5 fucking years. Nobody cares. At least Brady won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. And even he's saying he's stepping away from the game because he wants to spend more time with his family. Being a family person is no excuse to ruin your career. None. You don't have to have the family. You don't have to have the career. You need to decide. She made her decision. Her deciding that her family's more important than her career does not mean she's a bad athlete, but that does not mean she can blame the family on the fact that she's fucking a washed up bum. Bullshit excuse. Hate it. Serena.
Scotty's back.
Wish lattes back, baby.
Last week you were soft and like thanked Gary McCullough for putting on a good member guest. Now you're pissed off again. I like it.
I sent you as soon as I saw this. This is the dumbest excuse I've ever seen.
It was terrible. And I didn't even think about your point too, where like, yeah, her kids are gonna like possibly think like And
the worst part about it is she makes enough money. I don't know who her husband is, but he can stay at home and raise the family.
That's
the kid out and go back to training.
Yeah, if Devin was playing pro tennis, I'd be like, stay at home, Dad. I got this.
I fucking love kids. I'd be at home fucking playing dad all day long. No problem. Yeah. I'm in.
Right.
I'm in. She just is washed up and she needs an excuse. Bullshit. Hands down, the biggest bullshit thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. She has now replaced Brady and LeBron as the biggest scumbag in sports.
I'm
just
not too far off on that list too. Yeah,
washed up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get Devin into playing some pickleball so that maybe she can make like a, late push to stardom in something like.
Pickleball league's about to take off.
It is about to take off. It is. Yeah, I mean, they're getting their own court, so anything could happen.
And Devin's an athlete.
Devin's
an athlete.
So I'm trying to spin that angle a little bit, and then maybe she can go get rich somehow. All right, wrap it up.
Oh, yep. Hold on. Scotty on, brought to you by Complete Roofing Systems. The best the business has to offer, match with the best prices. For your free estimate, go to crsroofingteam.com or call 716-640-4609.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the things that sting.
Jones Pest Control, your hometown pest control company servicing residential and commercial properties in Warren and surrounding areas since 2015. Sean and his crew will work tirelessly to keep your home or business free of insects to rodents and everything in between. Contact Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548 and set up an appointment today. And remember, ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control, 814-230-9548.
Checkout means sales and services with 2 locations on Warren's East Side. Their garage at 800 Lexington Avenue not only services cars sold by Means, but has knowledgeable staff and modern state-of-the-art equipment waiting to serve their hometown of Warren. Whatever you need, including alignments, tires, brakes, yearly or enhanced PA inspections, oil changes, and much more. Make your appointment today at 814-723-7191, extension 2.
It's now time for the things that sting. The worst stories in sports, according to Joe.
This edition of the Things That Stings, powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548. All right, one follow-up. And I'm glad I saw this pop up today because it's one that I forgot about. I usually try and remember what the hell we talked about so we can go back and follow up when there's cases like this. Titans outside linebacker Bud Dupree pleaded guilty to a lesser assault charge in Nashville on Monday, was sentenced to 6 months of probation. If you remember, he was involved in, it was like the day of their playoff loss.
Yep.
Beat somebody up at Walgreens. Good times. So that's, handled unless he violates his probation in the next 6 months, which, hey, you never know. All right, on to the first one, though. We got a couple really interesting ones. Marshawn Lynch. DUI, driving an unregistered vehicle, failure to stay in his lane, and failure to surrender. The 36-year-old was taken into custody after police found him asleep behind the wheel of a Shelby GT500. The car was in undrivable condition. From what I read, it was missing a tire.
He was fucked up. I sent you the picture.
Yeah, I watched
the body. Worse than I do right now. He was
the body cam came out today too, so I watched that. According to the police report, when officers found Lynch, they observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from the vehicle, his person, and his breath, along with bloodshot, watery eyes, which, like you said in the mugshot, whoa.
I don't know how they determined they were bloodshot and watery because those motherfuckers
barely open. Despite those observations from police, Lynch stated that he was not drinking and he does not do drugs, according to the report. And the former NFL running yeah, the former NFL running back also noted that he stole the vehicle. So in his he said that. Doesn't help your cause typically. Bail was set at $3,381, and he now has a court date scheduled for December. So
that's good TV.
Frank Gore. This one
made
broke
me sad.
This made me sad. And let me tell you, when you hear the details of what's going on here, he's fucked.
Even sadder.
Yeah, he's fucked.
Man, poor Frank.
One count of simple assault for allegedly attacking a naked woman and dragging her by her hair down the hallway of an Atlantic City hotel. So what does that tell you right there? Guess what the police have?
Video footage.
Fucking right they do. If that's in a Atlantic City hotel, which it was
you didn't learn from Ray
Tropicana. It happened July 31st, Tropicana, Atlantic City. Police arrived at the hotel around 8:11 a.m. after receiving a report of a domestic violence dispute and found a 28-year-old Miami woman speaking with hotel security. She didn't exhibit signs of injury. However, Gore is accused of forcibly grabbing the woman by her hair and violently dragging her nude person along the floor of the 59th hallway.
It just makes me sad because it's probably true.
Yeah.
And here's a guy who had a hell of a career, no big problems. Guy just played for forever. I mean, it's a bummer.
It is.
But deserves everything he's going to get. If he did that, deserves
100%.
everything he's
If this is all, if it's accurate, for sure. Fernando Tatis Jr. tested positive for performance-enhancing substance and was hit by Major League Baseball with an 80-game suspension. Clostebol, I'm never good at these large words, is a testosterone-boosting anabolic steroid that is banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency and has been on MLB's banned list since it began testing for steroids in 2003. Now, an hour before the show, there's a new report emerging regarding this that his dad is saying it was to treat a fungus that he got from getting a haircut.
Okay, that's a little more extreme than I thought. I thought they were going to go with because he was coming back from injury. He's taking something to help him, speed up the recovery from the injury.
Right.
Did not think it was going to be a haircut deal.
No,
that's
the old hair,
impressive.
The old haircut fungus. See, that's why I'm glad I don't have any hair. This is a good, this is good for us. We can avoid haircut fungus if we don't
pop it on
we
any
ain't getting haircuts, so it don't matter. This one's kind of irritating. Cale Gundy, been with Oklahoma University football for a very long time, has been credited for just massively recruiting excellent talent. Resigned just this past week or the week before. Gundy uttered an inappropriate word universally recognized as a racial slur during a position meeting. Gundy describes the incident as having read the word out loud from a screen being used by one of his players who presumably should have been taking notes. So he's in a team meeting, sees a distracted player in his group, walks over to him, reads rap lyrics from the screen. Obviously, we don't have to say what the word is. Everybody knows what the word is. And is now basically forced to resign by Oklahoma. And they're saying that, regardless of his intention, there's no way he could recover. Now, the interesting part, with all of that said, DeMarco Murray, Adrian Peterson, Joe Mixon all come out saying, well, hold on. I'm sorry. My notes are a little mixed up here. This is a quote from Gundy. He said, "I noticed a player distracted in a position meeting. I picked up his iPad and read out loud the words that were written on the screen." Gundy said in a statement posted on Twitter, quote, "The words displayed had nothing to do with football. One particular word that I never, under any circumstance, have uttered was on display on the screen. In that moment, I didn't even realize I was reading what I was reading, and as soon as I did, I was horrified. I want to be very clear. The words I read out loud from the screen were not my words. What I said was not malicious. It wasn't even intentional. Still, I am mature enough to know that the word I said was shameful and hurtful, no matter my intentions. The unfortunate reality is that someone in my position can cause harm without ever meaning to do so. In that circumstance, a man of character accepts accountability. I take responsibility for my mistake. I apologize." So since then, like I said, DeMarco Murray, Adrian Peterson, and Joe Mixon all come out and say, this is absolutely ridiculous that he is no longer going to be a part of Oklahoma football because of this. No, and this just gets back to the whole, nobody should fucking say it. Nobody should say it.
Nobody.
And if that were the way it was, then this kid wouldn't have it on the screen. But he did. Not paying attention in a team meeting. Right. Where's his discipline?
Get rid of his fucking scholarship. Get rid of his fucking housing and tell him go fucking figure it out on your own, bud.
Yeah,
guy's gonna lose it, then that kid should lose it too.
I agree. Yeah, that's unfortunate. There is talk that he'll land somewhere, possibly, with old staff that he worked with and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. I mean, even the stuff I was seeing from the current team, they were all like, "Why?
Crock of shit."
Yeah, they all think it's a crock of shit. Like everybody thinks this is a crock of shit. So whatever. Chris Sale, freak injury.
Didn't see this.
This is, I mean, he just kind of came back and was getting ready to, get into the rotation. And he was playing catch Saturday at Boston College, took his bike to get lunch, hit something going down the hill, flew off of it, broke his wrist. So just wasn't meant to be.
Better. How the fuck are you not going to be able to ride a bike?
He is like, I wonder what kind of bike it was, because the dude's like 6'10".
He's kind of older. Yeah, he's a little older too.
Yeah.
He's got to be like around 40, right? Chris Sale's been doing it for a while.
Yeah, he's got to be mid-late 30s, I'd say, for sure.
I don't know if I could ride a bike. I shouldn't be making fun of him.
I know you couldn't right now.
A couple cocktails, I definitely couldn't.
Hey. Oh, you're going to love this one. Check out that banner.
Christ. All right. DMbo. All right.
DMbo Samuel. Jake Paul outs Debo Samuel on Twitter.
This. Don't even want to fucking hear it. You didn't say it was Jake Paul.
DMing Julia Rose, Jake Paul's girlfriend. And Paul now
he had the fucking Debo hammer. Fuck Jake Paul. This is stupid. Don't want to hear anymore. Fuck Jake Paul. Julia probably gave it to Debo because he's the fucking man. Fuck Jake Paul. I hope everyone beats him up. He's a bitch. He sucks. Fuck him. I can't believe this is brought up.
It's such a good story.
I want off the show.
Well, okay, I won't read the rest.
No, tell me now. All
right. No, he DMs Julia Rose, Jake Paul's girlfriend, and then Paul releases a video on Twitter, and he says, if you can guess the player, then I'll give away like free merchandise and stuff. And he bleeps out what he's saying when he says the name, but it is clearly Deebo Samuel. And in fact,
Julia
after
Rose
he
probably
says
gave
it, a guy in the room even says, "Oh, that's my favorite player." And Jake Paul's like, "Well, he has no game." So that was because it was pretty, like the message was like you with fingers crossed.
I bet you she gave it up. Ain't nobody staying with little dick Jake Paul. Him and his fucking $3 million. He thinks he's fucking rich. Little bitch beats up fucking bunch of washed up amateurs. He ain't worth $30 million. That's a lie.
Net worth
no
$30
chance.
million. She's worth $3 million.
She's worth more than he is. That guy's a bitch. He's a fucking pussy. He fucking backs out of every fight with anybody who can fucking actually beat him up.
I'm not arguing that point.
Pussy. Debo slaying that.
That's why I refuse to acknowledge him
that.
as a professional boxer.
Debo's slaying that. He probably hit it twice. If he didn't, Jimmy G did. It's totally fine. No one cares about Jake Paul.
All right, this one came on late. That's why it's at the end, because this would obviously be like probably in one of the top stories. So Yaqub Talib, brother of Aqib Talib, turned himself in for the shooting death of a coach at a youth football game in Texas. A murder warrant was issued for Yaqub Talib, 39 years old, in the fatal shooting on Saturday night of Michael Hickman, 43 years old. Police in the Dallas area, city of Lancaster, said. According to witnesses, Talib pulled out a gun and shot Hickman multiple times after a disagreement between the opposing coaching staff of two youth football teams over calls made by the officiating crew that led to a physical fight. Yaqub fled with the firearm after shooting Hickman. Aqib was present during the incident as him and Yaqub duly coach the North Dallas United Bobcats, a youth football team. Hickman was the coach with the youth team DEA Dragons. The Dragons president, Mike Freeman, said the dispute began when Hickman went to pick up a football and someone kicked it away from him. So they take their football in Dallas very seriously.
I thought the DMbo was the dumbest thing you were going to put on this tonight. What the fucking fuck?
Yeah, this isn't good.
12-year-olds. I'm
youth
guessing
sports, man. So is what it's come
sports.
to. I mean, the videos are going viral daily now of youth sports, just wars happening, fights happening. It's crazy.
Unfucking believable. Who gives a shit?
Ron King trying to take a shot at police because he's a firefighter. Hey, Ron, I know you were on the show late here. Go watch Trainwreck Woodstock 99 and watch when the 4 huge fires break out and the fire department says, we're not going out there. They were scared. So they had to wait for the police to come to escort them. So, yeah, we know who secures the scene, my friend. It's no secret. Everybody knows we're going first. All right. That's it for the things that sting. We're going to take a longer than usual break because we have to get all of our...
Another Busch Light.
And you another Busch Light and get everybody in here. So this edition of The Things That Sting is powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548. That's 814-230-9548. Like I said, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with My Hive 2022 NFL Fan Rant, AFC and NFC North. Blue Line Auto, located at 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren, is locally owned and operated and is a family-run business specializing in vehicle sales and service. They offer state and safety inspections and general car repairs, including but not limited to brakes and rotors, tires, oil changes, batteries, starters, and alternators. They also offer vehicle undercoating prior to winter to help keep your vehicle protected. Currently, their hours are Monday through Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Thursday and Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them today to schedule your next appointment at 814-230-9061. Your safety is their goal.
Hi, this is Ryan Klein, the host of the new pop culture podcast, Me, Myself, and Rye. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and several other platforms. Special guests, breakaway shows, bonus episodes, cold beers, and a whole lot more. So what are you guys and gals waiting for? Subscribe now to the Me, Myself, and Rye podcast on Spotify or wherever it is that you get your shows and start listening today.
My High, Joe and Sketty's very own world of sports.
Blue Line Auto, located at 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren, is locally owned. My Hive and the 2022 NFL Fan Rants presented by Blue Line Auto. For all your automotive needs, call Blue Line Auto at 814-230-9061 or stop in at 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren. All right, so we are rolling through the Fan Rant onto AFC, NFC North. It appears as though I have all four for the AFC, so we're going to start with them. I'm going to add them here to the stream one at a time. Let's see who else we got here. Sean, whose camera is not working. He's confused. He just told me that. And Miles. All right. Oh, Jacked Andy motherfucking Dalton is back on the show.
I should have brought it up. I should have put the Dalton jersey on. Yeah.
Roided Andy Dalton has joined us once again. That's awesome. Mike check Ryan. Thanks for joining us. Can you hear us all right?
Yeah, I can hear you good, Joe. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Of course. Justice, how you hearing us? Okay.
Yeah, I'm hearing you good. Thank you.
All right. Sean, you have no camera yet, but can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How you hearing us?
And I get not wanting to put your picture on, but I am totally understand.
You have no camera yet, but can you hear us?
Smoking. Yeah, I can hear you.
Somebody's got echo going. We got to figure out who that is.
Can you hear us? Smoking. Yeah, I can hear you.
See, it's like on repeat. Can you guys hear all that?
Going. We got to figure out who that is.
I wonder if it's Sean.
Yeah, I can hear you.
See, it's like on repeat. I'm going to mute people. Okay, I think it's Ryan. Ryan, you got headphones you can throw on? All right, you work on that. I'm going to, once you get those plugged in, I'll unmute you. So everybody, thank you for joining us and jumping on doing this with us. It's a good time. So how it goes, we're going to do it the same way we did it last week. Some of you like Ryan. Okay, Ryan's got his headphones in, so I can unmute him now, I believe. All right, so Ryan, Miles, you're not new to this. You did it last time around. But last time around, for Miles, it was a playoff fan rant. For Ryan, it was a regular season fan rant, and it was, hey, we're just trying to tell us why your team's going to win the Super Bowl. But we're doing it a little different this time because you're sitting here with a fan from each team within your division. So we're just it's going to be who's going to win the AFC North. So we're going to go around the room. We're going to start with Miles simply because the Bengals are probably, I would say, voting-wise or betting-wise, the favorite and, the reigning AFC champs. So, Miles, good to see you, first of all.
Likewise.
And second of all, let's hear it. So we're going to give you a couple minutes. Tell us why the Bengals are going to win that division again. And then we're going to let Sean, Justice, and Ryan tell you why you're wrong.
Well, first let me say it's really bizarre to be the favorites in this division, but I'm more than happy to take that on. We should be the favorites. We did win it last year. It was a tight race. I think I'm looking at the stats here. I think the Ravens were in last place. They were 8-9. The Browns were 8-9. Steelers were 9-7-1. So I mean, it's a very tight, competitive division. But I mean, at the end of the day, we went to the Super Bowl with a god awful, and I can say this now because I don't have to defend it, with a god awful, atrocious offensive line. And what we've done over the course of the offseason is turn that weakness into a strength. We picked up Alex Kappa. We picked up Lyle Collins from Dallas, and we picked up Ted Karras. And so we got one guy who played in Dallas, which has had, historically an excellent offensive line. Sorry, Getty.
Well, you ain't gonna be sorry to me. We kicked the shit out of Dallas.
and we have two guys who blocked for Tom Brady. One in New England, and the other one was in Tampa Bay. So, I mean, you could argue, and I would argue, that we were one play away from winning that game. If Aaron Donald didn't disrupt that last play, I mean, Jamar Chase had Jalen Ramsey beat. So you give Joe Burrow, about a half a second more, and it's game over, right? I mean, we lost that game by 3 points. So I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm looking to the future. I'm really excited for these Bengals because there are some guys that have gone under the radar. I remember in the Super Bowl edition of the show, I said watch out for a guy named Chris Evans. He didn't really come out in that game, but I still think that he is primed for a breakout season behind Joe Mixon, who himself had a breakout season. I think he ran for about 1,200 yards or so. He's gonna love the offensive line he has in front of him. Frank Pollock has what he likes to call glass eaters now. So that defense is gonna get better. There's a guy named Joseph Osai I think everybody needs to take a look at, and the rookies that we picked up on that secondary are going to be mint. So I think it'll be another close go in the AFC North again, but I think I think we're the clear favorites to come up on top for sure.
All right, Ryan, tell Miles why he's wrong. Tread lightly because he squats like 600 pounds.
You're not playing a last place schedule, Ryan. Start it out.
We do have a last place schedule, and that's something that this year's Ravens are looking forward to after last year playing a really hard schedule. Getting the Jaguars is always a bonus, and opening with the Jets, no Zach Wilson is great. So, Joe Flacco, we love him. Obviously, he's our guy, but I hope we beat him 42-0 in week 1. When you look at the Ravens roster, I think the feeling among Ravens fans is we can't possibly have as bad a luck as we had last year with injuries. It's not possible. Both your top two tailbacks, both starting corners, both defensive ends, both tackles. I mean, it was absurd how many injuries they had, and Lamar misses the last 5 weeks, and it kind of unravels for them. I think this year, they've made improvements in their practice. They've added, trainers and massage therapists and
whoa. Easy, we have a Browns fan in here.
Sean, relax.
Easy. If Deshaun's somewhere watching this, he's just bought a plane ticket to Baltimore.
I'm in.
But
all right, sorry to interrupt you, but go ahead.
Be healthy, and this year it's going to come back more towards Baltimore football, hard-nosed, smash-mouth offense, and really good defense. And, I think things are really looking up in Baltimore over last year. So,
all right, Justice.
All right, I'm going to start mine off with a fact. The Steelers have the best coaching staff in the AFC North, arguably, possibly in the AFC.
That's not a fact.
I mean,
no, it's not.
I mean, it's pretty close to a fact.
It's an opinion. It's an opinion.
All right, so defensively, the biggest weakness for the Steelers last year was the run game, obviously. I mean, we had a horrible run game. It's just true. But this year, we signed Larry Ogunjobi from the Bengals, coming off a Super Bowl. That's going to be a good addition for that D-line, help stop the run there. And then Tyson Alualu. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then Tyson Alualu, who was hurt for the majority of last season, is going to be coming back. So that D-line is going to be getting a boost there with those two and adding new energy to the team. And then the addition of Miles Jack is going to help a lot because Devin Bush is not a good run stopping linebacker. He's more of a fast pass coverage guy. So adding Miles Jack and those two should definitely help our run defense. And then our pass rush is already going to be pretty good with Highsmith, Cam Hayward, and TJ Watt all rushing the passer there. And then because our corners aren't great. We don't have fantastic corners. We signed Levi Wallace from the Bills, who is a good role-playing corner. And then Witherspoon had a good tail end 21. So I think corner-wise, we have good young talent. Not phenomenal, but we have a good pass rush, which should suffice for that. And then going over to the offensive side of the ball, our biggest weakness there would have to be the offensive line from last year. We didn't have the best O-line, but we were starting two rookies and Kevin Green, the one rookie, was playing center, which isn't necessarily where he was his main role. And so we moved him back over to guard where he should be a lot more comfortable and got Cole in the offseason and Daniels from the Bears. So we added a little bit of a new face in there to help spice it up a little bit. And we're building off the young rookie talent there. So hopefully that should develop. And then Najee Harris. So quarterback is a little bit more of a question mark because we have three guys who are all competing for the same job. And Kenny Pickett, obviously, I think is going to be the starter eventually. But I think not Mason. I think Trubisky should be the starter for the beginning part of the year because we have a rough schedule to start the year. I don't think that we should throw a rookie in there immediately. So I think that Trubisky has a very good chance of being good. He has a 29-1 record overall in his career, which isn't bad for playing with the Bears for 4 seasons he was there. And then he sat behind Buffalo behind Josh Allen, who I think we can all agree is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So
I can agree with that.
From here. So he got a good learning experience there, and then he has a lot of time to develop. And I think he has a great wide receiving core too, with Pickens, Deontay Johnson, and Claypool. Deontay Johnson had a breakout year last year. He a great season last year. Claypool, a little bit of a down year. I mean, he didn't do great.
More TikToks than touchdowns.
But he should be celebrating every first down. He loves that.
Yeah. Specifically when time's expiring.
Let me dance.
That game was brutal. But offensively, we should be fine. Great young talent. So I have high hopes there.
All right. Sean, the mystery man, the guy who, if I was a Browns fan, I wouldn't want my face on camera either. Let's hear it.
First of all, why do you piss on the Browns all the time?
Why does the Sean podcast piss on massage therapists?
If this podcast took place in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, if we did this show in the mid 2000s, I would only be slinging mud on Pittsburgh. And I think that was because at that point in my life, I went to Edinburgh. The Steelers were pretty good. There was a ton of Pittsburgh people who went to school there. So it was all you saw everywhere you went, Steelers shit. It just pissed you off. Now I am just kind of looking at how organizations are run and the things that they do that piss me off. And then the Steelers don't really do anything that upsets me in that regard. And I'm not around enough of their fans who annoy the shit out of me like they used to. Something about the Browns just, I don't know. I think the Watson thing kind of put the icing on the cake. It was just how do you guarantee that much money to a guy who has serious character flaws? And I know that we went through this 1,000 times on this show. And most of the people are like, well, he wasn't charged with anything. Well, of course he wasn't. And that's where people don't understand the difference between civil and criminal court. And, you know, the burden of proof is different. And that's the way it is. And that's why do you think he paid all these, settled all these civil suits? You don't think he would want to use that money towards lawyers to defend them? The reason he doesn't want to is because there's going to be details that come out during those hearings that he doesn't want anybody to fucking hear about. So that's my problem with the Browns right now. But tell me why they're going to win the AFC North.
They aren't gonna.
Oh, we had one of these last week.
Yeah. Quitters. I don't like
think
it.
They can. I don't think they can win because of Watson. They can't win with this Jacoby Brissett. No way.
What if
No
they
way.
trade
The
for
other teams in your division?
What if they trade for Garoppolo?
Well, that could help.
He goes to the
That
Browns.
would help.
They're going to win by
All right,
4
let's-
fucking games.
Let's pretend that Watson's suspension stays at 6 games. What are your hopes for the season at that point?
Well, they got probably the best offensive line in football, so that helps. They got the 2 best running backs tandem in the NFL with Hunt and Chubb. You can't deny that.
No.
Their wide receivers are terrible besides Amari Cooper.
Stud. Pure stud.
What about Higgins? Is he still there?
He's in Carolina.
Oh. With Baker.
No, they got
he went with Baker touchdown maker.
Oh, Jesus
what the
Christ.
hell?
He's fucking
Swartz.
terrible too.
The Swartz
He can't
kid.
catch the football.
Oh, Jesus. No faith, this guy. No faith.
No faith. You're right. He can run like a deer, but he can't catch shit. But defense is solid. I will give him that with Myles Garrett and Clowney on the ends. It's kind of
Myles
hard
Garrett's
to
like
find.
the 4th best pass rusher in football. Whoa.
Kind of hard to find better than those two. Maybe Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa.
Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa?
I'm just saying, Sketty, asshole. I'm just saying they could be.
Nick Bosa by himself better than both them buns. Holy fuck.
No.
All right.
Garrett?
So with a 6-game, I mean, this division's probably still going to be close. I'll toss my opinion out there, which I've been telling Sketty this for a while now. I truly believe that Pittsburgh's going to end up winning that division. And the reason I think that, you know, I've told you this, and you can say I'm wrong. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I agree.
What I'm saying is that if Mitch Trubisky starts, if he was able to do what he did in Chicago with Nagy's trash-ass coaching style, and this defense is going to be the best he's ever had behind them. This defense.
Tomlin's an idiot, though. He's going to start Mason.
Well, if that happens, then yes, I totally take back everything I'm saying right now.
The Ravens are going to run away with this division.
They don't
Last place schedule doesn't matter. Lamar doesn't throw the ball. Don't need a receiver.
2 one-dimensional.
Lamar's just going to run. Running backs are there. Ravens run away with this division.
Miles is booking a plane ticket to Warren to come snap you in half right now, I think.
Yeah, I'm cracking the knuckles, baby. Yeah,
what do you think, Miles?
You know, I'm used to the disrespect to be counted out. Like I don't even think Vegas has us in like the top 10 for favorites to go back to the Super Bowl. And I mean, I really don't know what this team can do at this point to prove that they're legit, right?
There's no last place schedule this year, Miles.
Yeah,
they played a first place schedule instead of a last place schedule. The Ravens running away.
Dude, I mean, look at what happened in the playoffs last year, right? I mean, you had folks that were thinking that we were gonna lose to the Raiders, right? Then you had then we were supposed to lose to the Titans. Then we were supposed to lose to KC, right? Like I think
look what happened when Jimmy Garoppolo came to town, bud. I'm just saying.
So you're saying
you're saying
now Jimmy Garoppolo.
There was this team went to the Super Bowl last year it had one glaring weakness, and then it took that and completely revamped that whole unit, right? I mean, Joe Mixon had a hell of a year. He was third in rushing yards. He was fourth in touchdowns. And he could actually have a better year this year with the guys that he's running behind with, with Karras, with Kappa, with Collins. And, who in this division is going to stop Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd at the same time? T. Higgins was sick, but Jamar Chase, what he did as a rookie, the guy was an All-Pro. He was a second team All-Pro. So I mean, what's he going to do in year two with Joe Burrow, right? So I mean, I'm feeling good. I would
agree, Miles, that if the Bengals are capable of giving Burrow time against the Steelers pass rush, that he could pick that secondary apart. I do believe that, but can they stop the pass rush? I mean, they've definitely made upgrades to the offensive line, so that's the hope. But new units, sometimes they take a little bit to gel.
You're playing the Bills and the Bills, the Chiefs, and I guess the Colts. No, Titans. Playing the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Titans this year. You're not playing the Jets, the Texans, and
didn't they lose the Jets?
We did.
Yes.
Yeah. That was
and they're playing the Jets.
Yeah, there was some rough losses.
Mike.
Yeah, there were some rough losses in there. I won't deny that. But you take a look at that offensive line was easily one of the worst in the league. And they were able to get to a Super Bowl. And if it wasn't for Aaron Donald's heroics, we probably would be talking about Super Bowl champs right now. So with that unit,
though, Miles.
What's up?
The Rams are trash. The Rams are trash. I've never seen a luckier team in my life.
Yeah.
Except for all of Tom Brady's teams.
Yeah.
That's it. They're like 8.
The Rams are a sensitive subject for Sketty.
Yeah.
Trash.
You recall. Ryan, question for you.
Sure.
True or false? Tyler Huntley is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good question. I will say this. Tyler Huntley is a better thrower of the football than Lamar Jackson.
All right.
Beautiful.
Lamar Jackson is still the guy I want under center.
Okay.
If we have to go win a game, I still want Lamar. He does so many things. He can take a play that is a total bust and turn it into a 70-yard touchdown. You can't teach what he does. If I have to throw a ball 60 yards into a trash can, give me Tyler Huntley.
All right.
Okay.
Fair.
I have a question.
Sure.
Justice, how old are you?
I am 19.
19. So, this is about to be the first losing season you've ever seen from the Steelers. How do you feel about that?
Not yet. Not yet. Got a few more years for that coming.
Justice, hey, listen, man, if it makes you feel any better, which it probably won't, I've seen more winning seasons the last 3 years in Buffalo than I did for the previous 14 of my adult life, 14 years of my adult life. So if there's anybody who can talk you off the cliff if the Steelers start losing, I can do it, buddy.
I mean, 0-4, so it's not the best record.
You were like negative 15 years old when that all happened. I don't even want to hear those words out of your mouth. Okay? So, and meanwhile, I was like 8. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
You don't know real pain yet, Justice. You don't know real pain.
Yeah, you don't know real
buddy.
pain.
It's
Sean can speak of some real pain being Browns fan.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
yeah.
That's his whole life.
All right, boys. We're going to go around. I'll give you 30 seconds to say one last thing, and we're going to move on to the next division here. Miles, go ahead.
I would bet anybody that at the end of this season the Bengals will be division champs. I see them making another deep run. not to fluff Joe, but like I think we were pretty fortunate not to get the Bills. I actually liked having going against KC again in the AFC Championship. So I'm not gonna say we're returning to the Super Bowl, but again, I think my question is, who's gonna stop that three-headed monster of Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd in this division? So I'll pose that question and I'll leave it at that.
All right, Ryan, go ahead. 30 seconds.
Building off of what Miles said, and not to ever agree with a Bengals fan, but quarterback play is so important. And when you look at the Bengals and the Ravens, I think they're the two teams that clearly have their guy. They know what they're going to get at the quarterback position, barring an injury. I think the Bengals and Ravens probably both make the playoffs out of that division. Who wins the division, I don't know. Too many questions about Jacoby Brissett and whatever happens to Deshaun Watson whenever he gets back. And no offense to Pittsburgh, great organization. But if you got three quarterbacks, you got no quarterback.
That's a good point.
I think that's how it'll play out.
Ryan, before your time's up, I just want to throw in there that John Sittler's in the comments, and he said, "Is that Ryan Hanchett?" What?
It is. And John Sittler gave me my first ever job as a sports intern at the Warren Times Observer in 2002. So always love to hear from John.
All right, Justice, 30 seconds.
All right, so the biggest thing is Pittsburgh's quarterback situation, but I don't think that's going to be necessarily as important as everyone thinks it's going to be, because I think Mitch Trubisky is a capable starter, and our offense is mainly going to be running the ball with Najee Harris and playing good defense and trying to win games that way. And I'd say the biggest competition for the Steelers would be the Bengals. I mean, they're a pretty complete roster. The only thing that I see there is that the offensive line, they have a lot of new pieces. So how are they going to gel together? Because they're all great players. It's just necessarily like, are they going to work in the same scheme together? So hopefully they don't do that very soon, and it takes them a while to get used to that, so the Steelers can get a few sacks there and hopefully get a few wins there.
All right, Sean, 30 seconds.
If the Browns get Jimmy Garoppolo and run the football, they will win a division. And that's easy.
We need a trade to happen.
Yes, for sure. It has to.
All right.
Running out Jacoby Brissett.
I mean, Justice might as well have been like, if the Steelers pull some crazy trade and get Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, that could win that division.
If we got Josh Allen, we're going 17-0.
So, I mean, what's that?
Will not make a trade. Cleveland will, because they're desperate.
Yeah.
Right. So going back to why do I always piss on the Browns, you just took the words right there. It's because they do stupid shit, and it pisses me off because they put themselves in situations where they have to just look like idiots, and that's what upsets me about them. I love you. I hate the Browns. I can't. It just pisses me off. Every time they do something new, I'm angry about it. I don't know what it is. Now they got the massage therapy national convention happening in Cleveland this coming weekend. And how
last weekend?
John up.
No, it's this coming weekend. It's after camp. It's after camp closes for the Browns, which is like the 19th.
He'll probably be sent home by then, so he won't be allowed there.
They better. Team security better be on tailing Deshaun all weekend.
I'm
all
sure.
right,
they might have to bring you there.
I'll take the overtime.
I know
all right,
you will.
Fellas, Miles, Sean, Justice, Ryan, thank you guys so much for hopping on. Now keep in mind, once we get to the playoffs, we do a playoff fan rant. So teams, representatives of teams who make the playoffs, we'll be having you back on here come January. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for coming on and supporting us and everything. We appreciate it. And yeah, take care. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, boys.
Thank you. See you in
Thanks, Joe.
January.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Get these guys out and get moving on.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite division.
Which one? NFC
the one
North?
that's coming up. Yeah, we call it San Francisco's little bitches.
All right. So one of us has to represent the Lions. I did the Cowboys last week.
Well,
So I think
I'll
you got to
do
be our Lions guy.
MCDC. I got it.
All right. Dan Campbell
Well,
quotes. Start
I
looking
know who
them.
the Bears guy flipping us off is.
Oh, that's Pooh. Let's
Pooh,
bring him
Pooh's
in.
about to be really pissed when fucking Trey Lance gets his first big W on him. It's
All
going to
right.
be embarrassing. Sorry, you can talk to
Fellas,
Ron
mic
about
checks.
it.
What do we got here?
very
Ron's
wrong.
muted. Ron's muted somehow, it looks like. Let me unmute
Unmute
Ron.
Unmute Ron.
I can't unmute him. Their mic isn't connected. Ron.
You got me, Joe?
Yeah, Cord, we can hear you. Pooh Bear.
Check one.
Dude, you got a green? You have a green screen going, or what is that?
Nah, just the blur effect.
Dude, that's cool.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
How do you do that? Can I do that?
Yeah, it's one of the effects on here. I can do it on my camera, but this program actually did it.
Well, Ron's your mic working?
You hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm in.
How do I do this blur? Oh, I just did.
Who cares?
No, I'm on to something here.
No
this
one
is
wants
cool.
to follow what a losing team's going to do.
Yeah, see, Joe's out for the show. Here we go.
No, I'm still here. You can hear me, right?
I never lost you.
I can, but you're going to be tied up with that all day. Oh,
no, this is cool.
Here we go.
Yeah, look at that. Thanks, Pooh. That's some high-tech shit right there. Okay.
Jesus Christ, now I can't see Joe.
Oh,
maybe I can see him.
That's even better. Oh, there it is.
Maybe I can see
It's
him.
not really for somebody sitting behind a desk.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't.
You just ate the bandwidth. There it goes.
All right. Yeah, I probably did. I'm gonna switch that back. In the meantime, you guys can still hear me, right? Everything's going good audio wise.
good.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we hear you.
everybody's mic's working. Thank you for coming on, Cord, Pooh Bear, David, Ron. We appreciate you guys. We don't have a Lions fan, but that's going to be Sketty for the day.
I'm not gonna lie. I think we could all pretty subjectively be honest about the Lions. Like, I don't think none of us really have anything.
I met my first. No, and I met my first actual Lions fan. Like, the guy had a sticker in the back window of his truck that was Lions, and I'm like, wow, like, you guys are like around. Like, there's no such thing as a fair weather Lions fan right now.
I can't wait for all of you to be so pissed off when the Lions win this division. This is just garbage division. It's just, holy shit.
So we're going to start with Ron. Packers won the division last year. So, Ron, take us away on what's going on in Green Bay. How are they going to win this division again?
I mean, we picked up a few good pieces. Obviously, we lost Devontae Adams, which that's going to hurt. There's no doubt on that. But we have no idea about Christian Watson. He's brand new. He's been hurt most of the training camp. But Romeo Doubs, which I don't know if Sketty watched the preseason game, but he burnt the crap out of whoever that corner was on him.
It was a good loss.
And Jordan Love hit him. Jordan Love hit him. Hey, preseason game. I mean, you want to talk about preseason? Good thing you're watching, talking about the Lions today, because that's obviously the only time they do well. But
I mean, I'm just saying he looks just as good as Danny Gray. Just as good as Danny
all I'm saying is the guy's a rookie, right? And he was going against the first team defense on there. So there's some unknowns that are in there in the receiving core. I think this defense is going to be fast. I think that the defense will actually be what shows in this team this year. I think the offense is going to be more tailored toward the run. I like our offensive line. Lazard is 6'5". I don't know anybody in the division that's got a 6'5" corner, so good luck with that. And Bobby Tunyon just came off of IR or the PUP today. He practiced, and people forget that before he got hurt, he was a huge part of the Packers offense last year. He had touchdowns, I think, against everybody in the division. And I think that he's going to have a bigger impact this year now with Adams gone. And I think I saw a stat earlier. They were saying that he was going to get about 17% of the targets, Lazard like 16%, whatever. They had it all broken down. I think that this year they're going to, because of the no number one receiver, he's going to have to force the ball to other people. It's going to be a little bit harder to cover everybody because he's going to spread the ball around. You can't double everybody. And I just like our running game. I think that the combination of between that and our defense is going to be enough to win us enough games to win the division. That's just the way I feel on this one.
All right. Cord, take it away.
Yep, 2 words. Kirk Cousins. Just kidding. I hate.
Jeez, I wish I had a threat.
Immediately, just kidding. Just kidding.
That he can't.
Bro, I almost fell on my floor. What, are you serious?
To an NFC North championship. I mean, we got Kevin O'Connell coming in, from LA. We know what he did out there. High-powered offense. Really, what he's got to do is take Kirk out to dinner, buy him some flowers, just make him feel comfortable. Because if he can get him to be aggressive, make some throws downfield, I mean, he can light up this offense, really put a spark to it. JJ, 2K, Jefferson's going to be going, touching 2K this year. Dalvin Cook, obviously monster. So this offense has the pieces. It really comes down to the defense and the young guys on defense. Vikings last year, 8-9. They had 14 games lost by 1 score, and a lot of those were defense letting up scores at the end of the game. So, Zadarius Smith coming over from Green Bay, him and Hunter are going to be causing havoc for quarterbacks. Some young guys, some young corners, Booth Jr., Lewison, safety. This defense, if they can step up, make some more plays, 24th last year in scoring. So if they can tighten that up a little bit, I expect this team to really make some improvement. Bottom line, they got a lot better and Green Bay got a lot worse. So, I think this is Skull all year.
All right.
I didn't know that marijuana was legal in Minnesota yet.
I really can't disagree with pretty much anything the first two guys said. And in all honesty, how can the Bears win the division? I mean, to use a really bad quote or a really funny quote from years ago from John McKay, it's going to probably have to involve plane crashes. Like, the Bears are pretty much widely regarded as they're the bottom of this division this year coming in. And this is, I don't know, in my whole time of being a Bears fan, if there's ever been a time that less was expected of them going into the season. I mean, this is a team that won 3 games 6 years ago, but during the John Fox years, they still had somewhat of a defense around them that if things worked out, they could possibly chase for a playoff spot. It's all just unraveled. And Joe, for all the people who did rants last year, I'm pretty sure, my rant about the Bears had to be one of the most accurate, because I said if they didn't do anything last year, they were basically going to blow the franchise up. And this just past offseason, Akeem Hicks is gone. Eddie Goldman's gone. Danny Trevathan was released. And they traded Khalil Mack, which I think was the one good move they made to try to get something for him before he walks in a year or so. So, the only good things you can, and not to mention, they're trying to get Roquan Smith to walk out of town now too. So, about the only good things you can say about this team right now is that they're really young. They have a lot of cap space for next year. And it looks like that new stadium they're going to build in 3 or 4 years is going to look really nice. There isn't a whole lot. Rookie coach, rookie GM, rookie offensive coordinator. So, there's a lot of unknown coming in for this team coming into the season.
All right. I'm going to throw a quote out there, and I just want you guys to listen to it and let it sink in. It doesn't matter if you have 1 ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass. Dan Campbell.
MCDC.
Yeah.
So
I like Dan Campbell.
I'm high on Dan Campbell. Yeah, I like Dan Campbell.
I like the guy.
If you go back and watch the games for the Lions last year, and I had a chance, obviously the Bears and other divisional games they play the Lions, but I got to watch more than that in Lions games. They played really hard and should have pulled more wins out last year.
Absolutely.
They didn't look bad last year.
And I was just going to say, so they beat the Packers week 17. What?
I have questions. So, 3 years ago,
go
in the Super Bowl. 49ers and the Chiefs. 49ers and the Chiefs. New head coach, Kyle Shanahan, 2nd year. What did he do the year they went to the Super Bowl? They drafted a defensive end from the Big Ten, just like the Lions did this year. Who did they have at quarterback? Also a guy who's been to the Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo, Jared Goff.
Yes.
So,
yes.
bunch of close games. 49ers lost a bunch of close games in 2018, just like the Lions did last year.
Sketty, how can the Lions go to the Super Bowl and the Lions and the 49ers can't go to the Super Bowl the same year?
They're going to win this division because it's dog shit.
Okay.
It's a straight dog shit division. With a bunch
Did
of
the
dog
49ers
shit
win the
going
Super
on.
Bowl that year?
We're just talking about who's going to win
Did
the
they
division
win?
this year.
Well, no, because the answer is no, they didn't.
No holding penalties.
I mean,
called.
everybody,
you would have told me that beforehand. I would
hey,
have sold everything I had and betted on the Chiefs.
Hey, the Vikings could kick field goals. They would have won the Super Bowl too.
Lions are running away with this division this year.
All right, I have
running away.
I have a question.
Running
for Ron.
away. Running
away.
No. Who's gonna win more Super Bowls? Aaron Rodgers or Jared Goff? Aaron Rodgers.
All right, I got a question for Ron.
So Jared Goff is just as good as Dan Marino?
All right, hold on. Question for Ron.
I'll go with
Ron.
Joe and then I'll answer your Bears guys fan. 1 sec. Go ahead.
All right. How, with a straight face, okay? I want you to do your best job at this. With a straight face, tell me how any Packer fan, and I'm a Packers owner. You know that they're my
owner.
They're my secret crush team. I'm part owner of the Packers. Everybody, it's well documented. Tell me with a straight face how anybody can seriously think that Alan Lazard is going to be a fraction as good as Devontae Adams.
He doesn't have to be.
He does have to be.
He
does have to be.
No. Hey, you asked me a question. Let me answer. Devontae Adams couldn't catch dog shit with a fucking scoop when he came into the league as a second rounder out of Fresno State. Okay, they put him through the paces. They built him up. You know where they got Alan Lazard? By the way, this guy that we're all talking about, Giants practice squad. This team has done very well picking up guys that were unheard of. Rasul Douglas last year, huge contributor in the playoffs. They pick up guys. Their talent scouting team is wide and big. They can pick up guys. They obviously find talent. No, we do not have Justin Jefferson this year. No, we do not have Devontae Adams. You know what we do have is his cap space now. We have Sammy Watkins, who will be good for one game until he gets hurt.
Correct.
And we are getting back Bobby Tunyon. Again, so
any of those guys
I said it before. Nobody on this roster will replace Devontae Adams. But collectively, Rodgers is going to have to find other guys that are open. And I've seen flashes of Romeo Doubs. And here's the other thing, by the way, that Christian Watson, I know guys that are on the Viking scouting staff. He was in their mind over there. He was one of the guys they were looking at early in the second round out of North Dakota State. We ended up getting him because we moved up. So he hasn't played all preseason. We don't know how good he is. I know he's tall. And here's the thing about Alan Lazard is he's 6'5". He's going to be a big target out there for him. So no,
does he play special teams, Ron? That's the question. Does he play special teams?
We got Rich Piazza from the Raiders, who actually has been making these guys better, and they put a lot of emphasis on special teams this year. And by the way, I'm glad you brought that point up because your team was about to lose until special teams happened. So
score more than 10 points, Ron. Tell the Hall of Famer to score more than 10 points.
Hey, it was messed up out there. And by the way, Jimmy Garoppolo, they lost in the regular season. You're getting rid of him. And did Jordan Love throw 2 touchdowns against you last week?
And 3 interceptions.
I mean, he's not very good. He was but they still threw 2 touchdowns. It's Sketty. Look, bro. Here's the deal.
Pooh Bear. Let's get to the Bears.
I got a question for Ron and see if he just agrees with me on this. That I kind of do agree with him that nobody's going to replace Devontae Adams, but if somebody's going to figure out how to do it by committee, it will be Aaron Rodgers. And I just want to ask Ron if he can agree with me at this. Ron, if you're going to take games from the Packers this year, you are going to try to have to take them early, right? Probably maybe first 6-7 games before maybe the offense does figure things out.
In Chicago?
So here's the thing.
Period. If you're going to take games from the Packers.
So there's obviously they've gone through a little bit of a renaissance on the offensive side of the ball. It's been a heavy passing team the last, as long as we all can remember, 10, 12 years. Matt LaFleur is a run-heavy guy. He came out of the Titans system where they had Derrick Henry. Now, we don't have Derrick Henry, but we've got A.J. Dillon and we've got Aaron Jones, and they are going to factor in more into this passing game, I think, personally. You're not going to see as many go routes. Like I said, Romeo Doubs has got a quick twitch, and I have not seen Watson yet. I don't know where he's at on this thing. I just know he's tall. I know that he's had a really good college career. I have no idea. So I think that this offense might get a little bit more to where you saw it when Brett Favre was there, where you had Ahman Green just running the ball on people. I think that's might be where we go. And again, I'll bring this up real quick, like 20 seconds. The Packers found Bill Schrader out of University of Wisconsin La Crosse. They found James Jones. They've got so many times in the past where they found wide receivers out of nowhere, and they came out to be stars. Like Alan Lazard was on a practice squad 2 years ago, and now they're talking about him as being like, okay, quote unquote, the number one. He's not as talented as Devontae Adams, but the problem with Devontae Adams is he was dropping balls left and right early in his career. They developed him. Maybe that'll happen again. I don't know. I'm just saying that they found guys out there.
How'd they do developing Amari Rodgers? Because he was like second string in the preseason game.
And again, he's probably just going to be returning kicks right now. He was supposed to be Randall Cobb's replacement, and guess what? He can't get into the team. And guess what? That's not a bad thing. That just shows that the team has got some decent talent. Nobody hits on all 10 of their draft picks. Again, he might be a complete bust. I saw him running kicks back. He almost ran one back. He actually had a good return. He did. Nobody hits on every draft pick. And again, the Packers might develop him into something. I don't know. Randall Cobb, I think, is still higher than him on the depth chart, and I think for good reason. So if he doesn't figure it out, then he's just going to fall down the draft or the depth chart, and he might not even be on the team come the 53 if he plays like crap. Let's just be real.
Okay.
Cord, hop in here.
I mean, it's what we've heard all offseason. Everyone defending the Packers, why they're still going to be at the top, but they just look like trash. They got nobody on the roster to catch a ball. I'd be if I I'm more worried about the Lions this year. They look pretty good on Hard Knocks. I enjoy watching them. I think the Lions are going to be beating up the Packers, and then we'll just come in and clean it up. I mean, as
long as Kirk Cousins doesn't have to play in prime time, right?
Exactly.
Hey, is Cam Dantzler and Peterson still on your team? That's all I want to know.
Hey, Cord, what is going to be more of the emphasis? Do you guys think that it's a legitimate shot to take the division, or is it more just try to secure one of the wild card positions?
I think they can win the division, but I think getting into the playoffs this year is a victory. When
I would say
O'Connell,
if you could put percentages on it, because from a realistic standpoint, until somebody proves it otherwise, I still think the Packers are going to win it because they're going to have a Hall of Fame quarterback for the 31st straight year. So until things fall apart, injuries aside, obviously.
I mean, this team was, they were in the wild card hunt up until like week 17, 18 last year, I think. So, I think the 9 wins this year they're expected. I think they go 10, 11, make the playoffs as a wild card.
The fact that you just said that making the playoffs in the NFC is an accomplishment shows me everything I need to know about this division. The NFC looks like the fourth best team in the NFC.
That's what you always hear the AFC's loaded, but then who wins the Super Bowl every year? I mean,
hey, no, Cord. But that's
not
my great for coming out. That's my argument.
You just took Scotty's bread and butter argument.
That's my argument.
Super Bowl. Hey, the seventh seed in the NFC last year started 10-0. So that just, or 9-0, the Cardinal. So just, that's how tough the NFC was last year.
The Eagles did not start 9-0. The Eagles were the 7th seed.
No, he's talking about the
seed
Cardinals when it's a
started
6
9-9.
seed. I think it was a 6 seed.
Six
Six
seed
seed.
started
What?
9.
My
When
apologies.
everyone
Yeah, but
knows
they were
Cliff
not the 7th
Kingsbury
seed. They were
can't coach after Thanksgiving. Everyone knows Cliff Kingsbury.
No,
when he gets to
and-
Thanksgiving,
and-
he's like,
and
I
I
got
don't-
co-eds to do. I got things.
Kyler Murray is, he just couldn't figure out how to throw the ball late in the season. I mean, they were fighting up till the very end. Let's be real.
It's hard when DeAndre Hopkins isn't on the field. It's hard.
That might actually work
And-
out for them because if he doesn't play the first 6 games of the season, he can't get hurt at the end
Could
of the
be
season.
that is true, Pooh. I like that. I
Yeah,
like that logic.
and there is that too, and that's the Odell Beckham Jr. argument, right, for all the teams out there because he got hurt in the Super Bowl, right? And now they're saying like, oh, he might be available December, January, late in the playoffs. Someone's going to sign him. It'll just be who's in a competing position to do so. Not necessarily in this division, but just in the league in general.
I didn't want to shit on Miles earlier. Realistically, if OBJ didn't get hurt in that Super Bowl, the Bengals were going to lose by 25.
It was a runaway.
At least by 25.
And he was wide open multiple times early on.
Because they were triple teaming Cup.
And they had
smart
Eli
thing to do.
Apple.
Yeah.
Are you
so?
Eli
guess
Apple against OBJ. Good luck.
I guess we can.
You might as well
bring it
put
in.
me out there.
Sketty is supposed to be the rep for the Motor City Madman.
All right, did you guys hear the Wizard of Oz quote from Dan Campbell?
No,
All right,
I do want to
stand by, okay?
MCDC, my guy.
Everything she does starts with grit. It's her core foundation, man. Drops her house on a woman's head, bam, kills her. Doesn't care, makes her slippers. That's us, man. We're dropping houses. She's North Command, she'll play anywhere. She'll play in Kansas, Land of Oz, somewhere over the rainbow. The bleeping Emerald City doesn't matter. She's got teammates, man. Teammates with no brain, no heart, no courage. One ass cheek and 3 toes, man. Doesn't matter. She will still make you pass out in the poppy field. You know why, man? Dorothy listens to Metallica. I have it on good authority. She listens to Metallica and Toto too. And there's a lyric that says, "Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire." That's us. We'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too. Let's go to work.
Is this real?
O-N-D and Anti-M. Let's go.
That's actually real.
If you think that
it's
guy
not a
is
joke.
Listen,
It's not a joke.
That is Kyle Brandt. That's Kyle Brandt doing his best Dan Campbell impression.
Because it went off the rails at the end there. That's what I was waiting.
It's hilarious though, because it's so damn accurate. I mean, his most recent quote that went viral was the one where he said, "We're gonna tread water until we fucking bury you." Like, the dude is a lunatic, and I love him so much that it's hard for me. Like, I will cheer for the Lions every game.
We're gonna fight all 60 minutes.
Did you my favorite Dan Campbell quote was, "There's no light at the end of the tunnel. That light is just a train coming to run you over." Hard Knocks. Love it. I
haven't got to watch
I'm all
that,
over
but
it. He's my favorite
I need
quote.
to watch Dan Campbell on Hard Knocks.
I love
That's a
love
brilliant move by HBO.
I mean, I apologize. I don't get more insight for the Bears because the Bears just top end for the Bears is 6-7 wins this year. I mean, there's literally things. If things happen perfectly, they're not chasing the last playoff spot. But I gotta open it up to you guys. Can things work well enough? Can things fall into place well enough for the Lions to make the 7 seed?
What 100%. What I'm telling you right now,
They're not winning the division, but
3 to 4 games into last year, and you can ask Joe Bees. I said this to him. 3 to 4 games in last year. If you would have told me I have to pick one team that was going to go worst to first, it's the Lions. Now, I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to retire. I thought that was part of the staple. But Adams left.
But he didn't.
I really still think the Lions are a team that can go worst to first. I still firmly believe.
So
I don't think the Packers.
Go ahead.
And I'm sorry, Ron. I don't think the Packers have it. Like,
Be
I just
sorry.
don't. Not that they can't.
I don't think the Lions have enough
it.
to get over the Vikings, even if the Packers fall off. Though.
So, and
I don't
here's
think
my
the
thing
Vikings
about
are
the
that
Lions.
great.
The Lions should have beat the Vikings twice last year. They beat the Packers once at the end of the year, and they were in that game until the third quarter. In I think it was week 2, because I remember I was up north and won $10 on the game, but that's beside the point. they were in a lot of these games last year.
Yes.
So let's go over the Lions schedule this year real quick, and I'll see. So Eagles week 1, Commanders week 2, Vikings at Vikings.
That's
Seahawks
1 and 2, 2 and 1. Yeah.
New England Patriots at New England Patriots, at Dallas,
5-0.
Miami.
They can beat
Miami's a
Dallas.
win. Packers at Chicago, at New York Giants, Buffalo
9,
Bills at
10.
home, Jaguars, Vikings at home, Jets, Panthers, Bears, and Packers on the road to finish it off. I got to be honest with you. I could see them.
That's a 15-win season.
I could see them. I could see them winning 9 or 10 games out of there without being funny. Like, legitimately.
Easy 9 or 10 wins.
You know, like without even being a homer or trying to figure something out. Like, you're going to tell me that as good as their defense is, they can't beat the Panthers or the Jets with who the heck knows who's going to be at quarterback. They win those games all day.
I'm giving you shit. 10 to 12 wins, I can see no problem.
Is that
No
9 or
problem.
Ron? Is that 9 or 10 with things working well, or do you think that
here's
they're
the thing here's the thing that I like about Detroit. Well, here's the thing that keeps me from saying that Detroit will get 10 wins this year. Jared Goff. And it's not because I think he's a bad quarterback. It's because I think that in those close games, as he's shown last couple of years, he's not going to win those. Now, with that being said, Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson are absolutely great at their positions, and they've been just going at it at camp. And I think they're both going to make each other very strong. I think that the Lions have Jamal Williams, who is one of my favorite Packers of all time.
Love him.
On their team, given a good speech. I think that the Lions have enough talent to make some noise in the division. They're not going to be going 0-6 in this division. St. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown is the good St. Brown. We had his brother. He sucked. Amon-Ra St. Brown is way shorter, but very good.
He's a Notre Dame
again,
boy,
like
too,
I
he's playing
do
for the Bears, so watch your mouth.
You got Swift back there.
Well, guess what? He sucked when he was with us. I hope he doesn't suck as much with you, but
so did Kaiser too. Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like, Amon-Ra St. Are you seriously saying that Amon-Ra St. Brown is less good as his brother? Like, no. St. Brown is tall and fast, but his brother is short and fast and can catch. That's way better.
Is the Alabama kid going to play? The kid they drafted early? Coming off the injury. The Lions, the receiver.
Williams.
So I didn't hear if he was or not. Yeah. I didn't hear if he
heard
was
if
or
he
not.
took
I
a
think
rep
he was
yet.
still on the PUP. But again, like, take him out of there. Like, Jared Goff is the new Brad Johnson, right? Or the Jim Everett.
And they have
Hawkinson.
You haven't even brought
that's not a
Hawkinson
bad
up.
one.
Hawkinson's a stud.
No, there again, Jim Everett. He won some games for you. He's not going to win. You know, Trent. People forget Brad Johnson and Trent Dilfer have Super Bowls.
Yes,
correct.
They both do.
Trent
It's easy to forget.
Brad Johnson took Trent Dilfer's
They don't
job.
have that kind of defense. They don't have that kind of defense.
That is true. That is true. But
no,
Ron,
no,
I think
they don't.
I don't think it would be wrong to say Jared Goff is a great 50-minute quarterback. He's just not a quarterback that wins you a game at the end of the game. And
Jared Goff's my favorite quarterback.
If you can take a lead deep, if you can take a lead into the fourth quarter and let your defense play instead of having to try to win it at the end, I completely agree with everything you guys are saying right now.
All right, so
and again,
Scotty,
like
who do you have
leads
winning
a
this
lot of the
division,
games.
Scotty?
Oh, honestly, I think I told you this. I think the Vikings are going to win this division.
I'm with you on that. Actually,
I really think the Vikings like it. And if we're not bullshitting, busting anybody's balls, I really think the Vikings they have this locked up.
Who'd they pick up on defense, Cord?
Zadarius Smith came over.
From Green Bay? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's going to be nasty edge rushing there. Him and Daniil Hunter. Andrew Booth Jr. from Clemson. He was a draft pick. If he plays, he could be. He's a dog. He can get in there and fight. Lewison. Obviously he's a big hitter. He's going to come down and close down some runs. So, if that defense can even improve a little bit, the backfield, the corners were terrible last year. So
They're going to be tough. I like
Is Cam Dantzler and Patrick Peterson still on the team?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not worried though. Like they're really bad. And again, I'm not. Hey, I live in Minnesota. I got to deal with this crap every day. I'm not scared of either Cam Dantzler or Patrick Peterson one bit. You guys got better in the interior core, but here's the other thing that you're forgetting about that defense. And being a Packer fan, I know how bad this can go quickly. You're switching from a 4-3 to a 3-4. We had to draft two guys that were so good that they're probably going to get in the Packers Hall of Fame, B.J. Raji and Clay Matthews. If we didn't draft them, and by the way, our defense was not that good. It was never a top 15 defense when they started. You cannot make that switch and have no bad repercussions. It changes your whole scheme. You've all of a sudden taken Danielle Hunter's help and pushed it to the backfield. And it's going to be without safety help now. So I think that's going to be a bigger deal than people are making of it within this division. They're going from a 4-3 to that they've always had since Tecmo Bowl to a 3-4. It's going to be a big difference. And again, the Packers did this too, and it hurt them for 4 or 5 years.
No, that's true. We'll see what.
You gotta get the players that fit the scheme.
All right, time for our 30-second round. We're going to start with Ron. 30 seconds to close out your argument. We're going to go around and then wrap this up because it's getting late, and I'm ready for bed.
Well, I'm glad you're old now, but anyway, thanks for having me on. Like I said, the Packers are going to be in this division. I actually do like a lot of the moves that this division has made with all different parts. I like Detroit. Chicago's got a good defense. Their offense has a lot to be desired, and the Vikings are different. Their offense is good enough to win games, and their defense has a lot to be desired. I still think the Packers are the most complete package in this division. The wide receiver position will get figured out because I think they're going to come in with some of these tight ends, and I like what Romeo Doubs is doing. I don't know what Watson's going to do, but there's 3 things that I do know. Offensive line, Elgin Jenkins is getting healthy. We've had all those guys in practice over there. They are very good, and we have got a really good run game that could beat you, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, and keep each other fresh. So our defense is good enough to stop people. Our offense is good enough to get points to beat people with the run or the pass, and we were setting it up the way that we were when Brett Favre was getting old and couldn't move around anymore, and he just handed the ball to Amon Green. And we still were getting into championship games and then losing to the Giants because
49ers
apparently.
Yeah.
Yo.
But
all right,
that was last year. I'm just talking about late, but
go ahead.
Let him finish.
Oh, I was just saying, at the end of Brett Favre's career, we were still competing for championships in the NFC based on Amon Green and Ryan Grant. And that's the way it looks like it's going at Aaron Rodgers' end of his career. Oh, that's all I got for you.
Yeah.
All right, Pooh Bear. 30 seconds. Let's go.
I think this is the Packers division to lose, obviously barring injury. I think they just have the easier way to figure it out. I don't think the percentage points are that different between the Packers and the Vikings. I think if things go right for the Vikings could make a division run. I also think the Vikings are going to be a wild card team. Really, the Bears are in the first year of a multi-year rebuilding process. It's not nice to be in when you have a cost-controlled quarterback. So really, their goal is just to improve and maybe piss in some people's pools on the way into the playoffs.
I like it. Cord.
That's all right.
Vikings.
Yeah, everyone, it's Packers division to lose. So, if Vikings come out and play well, I think they could take it. That'd be huge. Really, what I'm looking forward to is Week 10 when they travel out to Western New York to take on the Bills and whoop some ass out there. So
they finally get an outdoor snow game.
Do you remember what you realize that the Vikings catapulted Josh Allen to where he is today, right? Like his breakout game where he leaped over Anthony, but he made Anthony Barr look like a munchkin running down the field.
That was the week after the Bills player retired at halftime, and I was telling my friends, I said, "This is the worst NFL roster of all time. This team should be embarrassed." And then they come out and whoop the Vikings' ass. So, but that's the thing. The Vikings are the Vikings.
Hey, Joe, can I get in here real quick?
17-point underdogs in that game. Buffalo was, and one outright.
Times have changed.
Yeah.
Joe, I was at Josh Allen's first game the next week in Green Bay, and people were buying the Bills fans drinks after that game.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
It'll be the other way around come October. Well, I mean, those two fan bases, they do get along. Actually, so Justice Green,
we do
who
very
was
well.
on, yeah, Justice Green, who was on representing the Steelers, his family is predominantly Steeler fans, but then his brother Joe is a Packers fan. And yes, named Joe Green. They named him Joe Green after Mean Joe Green, and he became a Packers fan anyways. So,
hey, you see this Buffalo Sabres logo here? You see this Buffalo Sabres logo on my wall? I love the town of Buffalo, man.
So,
okay, there's nobody that would put that on their wall if they weren't a real fan.
That's true. Because I wouldn't put that on my wall. Yeah.
The Lions?
Well, we will. I'll get to you in a second. I was telling the story about Rob because Rob was like, hey, Joe wants to go up to the Packers-Bills primetime game, and he likes to deck himself out. Is he going to be safe up there? And I said, yeah, actually. No, he will be. The Bills fans aren't as angry. Because
he'll be good.
They used to be really angry.
Don't wear turquoise. Don't wear dolphin stuff.
Don't wear dolphin shit, and you'll be fine. But they aren't as pissed off as they once were. It's not those times are behind us. Thank God.
Well, we're keeping those Canadians above the border too.
Oh, how the turntables!
Hey, that Packers Bears game was my favorite one ever. They were breaking tables in there. The cops were laughing at them. We were buying each other drinks. We all were having a good time, and it was a great game if you remember. So, you know what? I just told those guys, hey, if we meet in the Super Bowl, I'm happy. I want to beat you, but if if it's not me, I'm rooting for you guys. What?
We appreciate that. All right, Sketty, 30 seconds, Sketty. Tell us why Dan Campbell is just an absolute unit.
MCDC, we're going to tread water till we bury you. Worst the first, baby. That's all I got to say. Worst the first.
All right. Hey, thanks, guys, for coming on. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Pooh Bear. Thank you, Cord. Thank you, Sketty, for representing the Lions. I had to do the Cowboys last week. That was painful, but I'm actually kind of jealous. I would have rather represented the Lions 10 times over.
They might be the better team this year.
That'd be sweet. All right, boys. Thank you again for coming on. Appreciate you. And once the playoffs roll around, we do the playoff fan rant where you go head to head with whoever your team is playing in the playoffs.
So,
yeah, we'll have you on for something different, man.
All right.
Hey, I'm technically still am the voice of the podcast.
You are the voice. You are the voice.
Very true. Yeah, Pooh is our voiceover guy when we do the intro to the segment.
You are. Yeah, there you go.
So, all right. Thank you, boys. Appreciate you.
You do a good job, bud.
Thanks, bud.
Yep. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Not bad this week. Not bad. There was some trash talking.
I liked it. It's better.
It's better. It gets better. Yeah. It's just once people feel it out, then I'm hoping the playoff one this year is just out of control. I want everybody to be like Philadelphia guy last year.
Guy was insane.
If nobody remembers that, I'm gonna screen.
We should look up the clip.
Video. I am gonna screen grab that video and then record it and just play it so people can see what we expect out of them.
Yep.
I want you angry. I want you hating the guy across from you because that's what that guy did. It was cool. All right. Thank our sponsors real quick. Swing Juice, Busch Light, Your Daily Local, Napoli's Pizza, Hillview Signs and Graphics, JP Photography, Mean Sales and Service, Jones Pest Control, the Me, Myself, and Ride podcast, and Blue Line Auto. Complete Roofing Systems.
CRS.
That's what I was looking for. I have to write that one on my list here. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We had some great comments in there. Unfortunately, I wish we would have got to more. We should have got to more comments because there were some really good ones going on during the fan rant, but I was trying to make sure the conversation wasn't getting interrupted, that all that good stuff. But
yep.
No, it was great. Thank you again, everybody who tuned in. And next week, what's next week? The West?
Yep.
Is the West next week?
Yep.
You looking forward to that one?
Absolutely.
All right. You need to go to bed and sleep that off. Somebody's got to pour some chocolate milks in the morning. All right, everybody. Thank you. Take care. Till next week.